Let's talk about the WNBA and the league's demise now that Caitlin Clark is no longer going to play this season. The WNBA and the Indiana Fever, Stephanie White, Amber Cox, all the way up and including, let's just keep it real, Kathy Engelbert, Adam Silver, the National Basketball Association, everybody that participated in the farce.
Caitlin Clark's season is officially over, and the WNBA only has itself to blame. From a quad strain in May to repeated groin injuries in June and July to a bone bruise in August, her body kept breaking down. Clark's absence for the rest of the season isn't just a personal tragedy. It's a league-wide disaster born from lousy officiating, poor communication, and constant physical targeting of one player. Fans are fed up, demanding answers, refunds, and calling for boycotts. And the league's response, silence at best. How did the league let its biggest star fall apart in just 13 games? And what does Commissioner Kathy Engelbert say about all this? Let us know down in the comments below if you think the WNBA is to blame. Let's go. Caitlin Clark out for the remainder of the 2025 season. Something we all think we knew was coming after what Stephanie White said earlier today. We couldn't be too sure until we see it for ourselves. And with this announcement from the GOAT's mouth herself, Caitlin Clark won't be returning this season, nor if the Indiana Fever make the playoffs. How many times did the refs just stare straight ahead while Clark got shoved into a screen, grabbed by the jersey, or flat out knocked off balance, and then pretended it never happened? That's the part that eats at fans. We all saw it in real time. Possession after possession. Clark getting hammered, coming off a curl, thrown into help defense, sometimes even double-teamed before she even touched the ball. And the officials had plenty of chances to blow the whistle. Instead, they swallowed it. And it became a pattern that the Washington Post later put into writing. This wasn't one team being overly physical. It was the entire league taking liberties with a player who instantly became the face of the sport. Well, it all started last year in her rookie season, where she received 20% of all the flagrant fouls in the league. And most of them came from Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky. And these weren't basketball plays. They were not only fouling her, but they were getting up laughing about it. Laughing about Caitlin Clark getting assaulted. Any other work environment, people go to jail for what's going on. And the league's most valuable draw, the one who carried not just her own franchise, but half the WNBA's rating spike, was left hung out to dry. Think about that. One player filling arenas in Dallas, Las Vegas, New York, and Chicago should have been treated like the investment she was. Instead, while networks cut record checks to broadcast her games, refs refused to grant her even the basic call stars get every single night in every other league. What we got was bodies flying into her off-ball, hand-checking that stopped her cuts before they even started, and defensive contact that would have been a foul for anyone else. The WNBA and all the people that follow the WNBA and try to promote the WNBA don't understand that Caitlin Clark's game resonates with us. I say this every day, and every day I gotta deal with somebody else dumb in the media. Caitlin Clark's game resonates because she's got flair. She's got flash. She's got style. I said this before, and I'll say this again. We saw Sue Bird's game. We saw Diana Taurasi's game. Kim Moy was Sue Bird before Sue Bird became Sue Bird. We've seen it. We haven't seen Caitlin Clark. This wasn't just annoying to watch. It was dangerous. Those kind of constant cheap shots don't just make a player sore. They add up over weeks, grinding on muscles that were already strained. Clark's quad that tightened in May, her groin that burned through June were no mystery injuries. Repeated hits, twisted pivots from denied space, unprotected landings. Those are exactly the things that lead to stress injuries that never really heal without extended rest. She was forced to keep playing through all of it because the alternative would have meant empty arenas that fans had already bought into. And last year, I noticed how much it was just Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was taking all the hits. Caitlin Clark was taking all the abuse. But this year, they've added Sophie Cunningham. She gets more flagrant fouls on her than anybody in the league besides Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. She's been taking hits as well. But the worst thing is it's the consistency. So they don't call flagrant fouls, or most of the time Caitlin Clark could be held for an entire game at a time. They don't call fouls. They don't call common fouls. That's why people call it hypocrisy. The WNBA begged for headlines about record ticket sales, overflowing merchandise orders, and new sponsorship deals centered around Caitlin Clark's name. Yet, when it came to the simplest job, protecting the player responsible for those payday checks, they wanted to act like she was just another newcomer. The reality is she wasn't. And letting her get battered night after night meant they didn't just compromise game results. They put the entire season in jeopardy. The folks that cover the NBA, these people that play in the NBA, these people that cover the NBA. There I said these people, all of you, black, white, green, purple. Why don't you understand a very simple thing? Her game is dynamic. Like Diana Taurasi was like a jackass to Caitlin Clark. Why? Her game is what people are drawn to. And then you go to the personality. Her game is different than any WNBA woman ever. And she wins, and she shoots from deep. It's no different than Steph. How many times we gotta say, so, what happens when your golden goose stops playing? What happens when the league refuses to call fouls and the end result is your star limping instead of running the floor? Now, we know the negligence from the referees didn't just tilt one box score. It laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark's season-ending collapse. And the backlash that started on court didn't stay there for long. It spread. Was Caitlin Clark's sophomore season doomed from the very first preseason practice? It feels that way now. Go back to training camp in May. Reports already mentioned her quad tightening up, something most athletes would rest to prevent further damage. Instead, she was rolled out as the centerpiece of every event, every practice session, every marketing push. Less than 2 months later, the problem escalated into a groin injury. By July, that groin became a full-blown tear on the right side. And with that came the announcement no one wanted to hear. Clark was done for the year. The story of how we got there isn't one moment. It's a series of decisions that never gave her a chance. I mean, it's a gut punch that basically encompasses an entire season of them. The Fever have lost so many players to injury,